friends, and welcome to Music and Mother Goose. So today our theme is all about Jack. So we have a story with Jack, some rhymes and some songs, and a really fun game. But let's start with our hello song. So first we'll clap and sing hello. Then, by special request from Katie, we'll roar and say hello, just like a cheetah or a tiger. And then we'll finish by singing, we climb and sing hello. And you can climb higher and higher. So, first, let's clap. All right, will you join me? So, this is to the music of The Farmer in the Dell. We clap and sing hello, we clap and sing hello. With our friends at story time, we clap and sing hello. Then let's clap. So we'll give a big clap, yay! Next, let's get our tiger voices ready and our tiger claws ready to roar and sing hello. We roar and sing hello. We roar and sing hello. With our friends at story time, we roar and sing hello. Can I hear your roar? Roar! Oh, very good, tigers. Then let's finish with some climbing. So we climb and sing hello. We climb and sing hello. With our friends at story time, we climb and sing hello. Hello, friends. So, hello and welcome. Let's get started. So, our first chant today is a classic nursery rhyme about little Jack Horner. Now, little Jack Horner is a special friend who sits in a corner and he is eating his Christmas pie. So when we are eating our Christmas pie, can you make a big pie with your arms? So make a big circle. Then little Jack sticks in his thumb. So he sticks his thumb into his pie, and what does he pull out? He pulls out a plum. And then he's so happy, he says, "What a good boy am I." So he's very proud of himself for pulling out a plum. So let's say our rhyme together. Oh, little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie. He stuck in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." All right, let's try it again, and we'll do a little bit more rocking to help the motion and to help think of the rhythm. And if you want to try this one with some rhythm sticks, or if you have wooden spoons, or even straws, or your hands clapping, all right, this is a fun one for a rhythm too. But I'm going to do our motions. Let's try it one more time. A little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie. He stuck in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Oh, delicious. He is a good boy. I love that Christmas pie. So next is my favorite part of our Music and Mother Goose story time. It's time for our story. So today we are reading Jack and the Beanstalk, another classic fairy tale, and this copy is actually from our Title I Family Resource area. So the Title I area is filled with lots of wonderful reading materials supplied by the Waynesboro School District and the reading specialists. And so we highly recommend this if you're looking over the summer for some things to help your children keep practicing their reading, beat that summer slide. We recommend anything that starts with T1 in our catalog when you look on the computer is from that area and should be great help for your kids. So this book is a we both read book. What that means is, as we're going through the book, you'll notice that one side has normal text that's pretty complicated and it's meant to be read to a child. But the other side has much simpler text that is meant for a beginning independent reader to read to the parent. So we both read means a parent or caregiver reads one page and then a child reads the other page. So it's a really great way to be reading together, but have it be interesting for your child with all of the information that they're getting, but also having simple enough language that they can read it successfully too. And the great thing about these books is we do have different levels as well. So just make sure that you check the level when you want to take one of the books. So we have Jack and the Beanstalk. So if we look at our story today, who do you think this story is about? Well, we have Jack. And what is Jack climbing? That is a very tall beanstalk. Now, how do you think I know that that beanstalk is tall? Well, if you look very closely in the pictures, at the bottom of the picture, what do you see? There are two houses, one here and one here. So they look very small. What that means is that they're far away. So in a picture, if something is big, that usually means it's close to you. But if something is very small, just like our book got really small, that means it's farther away. So we can tell that Jack's beanstalk is very big and that he's looking down from very high up. Pretty cool. I'm ready to hear about Jack and his beanstalk. Are you ready? So we have Jack and the Beanstalk, adapted or written by Cindy McKay and illustrated, so pictures, by Lydia Halverson. So, once upon a time, a poor widow lived in a tiny cottage with her young son, Jack. Jack was a good boy, but he knew nothing of the world beyond his home. Jack and his mother were so poor that the only thing they had to eat or drink was milk from their cow. But one day, the cow stopped giving milk, leaving Jack and his mother with nothing at all to fill their bellies. So, the problem is they don't have anything to eat. Mother gave Jack the cow. She told Jack to take it to town. She told Jack to sell it. Jack did as he was told. So Jack set off to town and had not traveled far when a woman approached him and said, "Good morning, Jack." "Good morning," he replied, surprised that she knew his name. "That's a fine-looking cow," said the woman. "I will trade you 4 beans for it." What do you think? Should Jack trade his cow for 4 beans? Well, those beans are very small. They're like that big. And Jack's cow is like that big. Do you think that's a good trade? Let's see what Jack does. Jack looked up at his big cow. He looked down at the small beans. He said to the woman, "No, thank you." Yeah, I would agree. "You drive a hard bargain, Jack," the woman replied, "but I want that cow, so I will give you 5 beans for it." Then the woman whispered in his ear, "These are no ordinary beans, Jack. They are magic. They hold the answer to all of your dreams." What do you think Jack should do now? Should he trade the beans? Do you really think they'll grant his dreams? Jack had many dreams. He wanted to see his mother happy, so he gave the woman his cow. Then he took the beans to his mother. But his mother was not happy. Look at her face. She looks pretty mad to me. Jack told his mother the beans were magic, but she did not believe in magic anymore. She threw the beans out the window, then sent Jack to bed with an empty stomach. The next morning, she was surprised to find a great tall beanstalk had grown outside their window. But Jack was not surprised at all. Why do you think Jack wasn't surprised? Because Jack believes in magic. So Jack kissed his mother goodbye. Then he went up the beanstalk to find his dreams. When Jack got to the top, he saw a very big house. So up he goes into the clouds. As Jack walked toward the big house, he was once again met by the woman who had traded him the magic beans. She told him that a horrible giant lived in the house, and that when Jack was very young, this very same giant had killed Jack's father and stolen all he owned. So you see, Jack, everything in that house really belongs to you and your mother, she said. Wow, so that is a really big house, and everything inside belongs to Jack? Let's see. Jack knew what he had to do. He had to get his things back. He had to get them for his mother. He had to get them from the big, mean giant. But how? As Jack neared the huge house, he spotted the giant's wife sweeping the doorstep. Jack was scared. He knew that little boys were a favorite meal of both giants and giantesses alike, so he did not ask to be invited in. Instead, he grabbed her broom and was swept through the door. In that picture, can you find Jack? Look, there's the giantess, and there's Jack. So he's being swept inside with the broom. Everything in the house was very big. It made Jack feel very small. It also made him feel very scared. He did not want to meet the giant. Do you think Jack will meet the giant? Suddenly, Jack heard the sound of enormous footsteps. He scurried up a curtain cord to a high shelf, where he quickly hid inside a sack of gold. Then he heard the giant shout, "Fee, fi, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." That's pretty scary. So the giant wants to eat Jack. Do you think the giant will find him? I hope not. The giant came into the room. He was very big and very mean. The room shook with each step he took. The giant began to tear the room apart, looking for Jack. Remember, he could smell him. His wife, upon hearing he was looking for a yummy little boy, eagerly joined in. But soon the giant grew tired of looking and ordered his wife to bring him his sacks of gold instead. So the giant took the sack that Jack was in, but he did not open it. The giant took another sack and began to count its gold. So the giant almost caught Jack then. Fortunately, the giant was not very good with numbers and had to keep starting over with 1. This tired him quickly, and soon he fell asleep. That's when Jack tiptoed from his hiding place to stare in awe at the giant's gold, which, remember, really belonged to Jack and his mother. Jack knew what he had to do. He had to get his gold back. He had to get it for his mother. He had to get it from the big, mean giant. So what will he do? Jack hoisted a bag of gold upon his back. Then, so the giant would not think it was missing when he awoke, Jack replaced the gold with a sack of beans. Quiet as a mouse, Jack slipped out of the giant's house, then ran all the way to the beanstalk and quickly slid back down to earth. How do you think Jack's mother feels now? Much happier. Then Jack's mother was very happy to see Jack and the gold, but she did not want Jack to ever go back up the beanstalk. But Jack knew what he had to do. So what do you think he'll do? Several days later, Jack climbed up the beanstalk once more. He ran straight to the giant's house and heaved a huge rock at the big front door. When the giant's wife opened it to see who was knocking, Jack slipped into the house. So he snuck inside again. He went from room to room. He saw many things the giant took from his father. And then the house began to shake. The giant was home. Will you say it with me this time? Let's try it. We have fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. So he smells Jack again and wants to eat him. Jack gasped in fear as he crouched behind a nearby cage to hide. From there, he watched in terror as the giant and his wife tore the room apart, looking for him. Jack sat very still. He did not make a sound. Soon, the giant got tired of looking. He and his wife gave up. Whew! That was close. The giant ordered his wife to bring him his cage with the golden goose, the very cage behind which Jack was hiding. Jack scampered into the shadows and continued to watch as the giant took the goose from its cage. What Jack saw next nearly took his breath away. Why do you think it's called the golden goose? Is the goose gold? No, but look at those golden eggs. For the golden goose began to lay golden eggs. Jack knew what he had to do. He had to get his goose back. He had to get it for his mother. He had to get it from the big, mean giant. And of course, what did the giant do? The giant soon grew tired of watching the wondrous goose but lay golden eggs, and with a yawn and a stretch, he fell asleep. That's when Jack tiptoed from his hiding place and grabbed the golden goose. Then, to keep it from honking, Jack snatched a chunk of bread and fed it to the goose as he fled. Jack ran out the door. He ran down the road. Then the goose went... What sound does a goose make? Honk! And woke the giant up. Oh no. Here he comes. The giant leapt from his chair to chase Jack, his huge strides bringing him closer with every step. Jack jumped onto the beanstalk just as the big mean giant reached out his arm to grab him. Luckily for Jack, the giant missed. Jack went down the beanstalk. His mother was at the bottom. She was glad that Jack was safe. She did not want Jack to ever go back up. But Jack knew what he had to do. What do you think he'll do this time? The next time Jack returned to the giant's big house, he sneaked in through an open window. Once inside, Jack heard a haunting voice singing a beautiful song. He followed the sound and found the giant listening to a magic harp. So, who's playing the harp? No one. Jack knew what he had to do. He had to get his harp back. He had to get it for his mother. He had to get it from the big, mean giant. How will he get the harp? Suddenly, the giant ordered the harp to stop singing, and he put his nose in the air to sniff. Jack froze. He knew what was coming next. Will you say it with me? He heard, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." The giant looked for Jack. His wife looked for Jack. But soon they got tired and gave up. Thank goodness. The giant ordered the harp to sing again, and this time she sang a lullaby. Before long, the rafters were shaking with the giant's mighty snores. That's when Jack tiptoed from his hiding place and grabbed up the magic harp. Then, to keep the giant from chasing him, he hid the giant's shoes inside the cooking pot. It looks like inside the pot with the stew. Ugh, stew. Jack ran out the door. He ran down the road. Then the harp began to sing and woke the giant up. The furious giant jumped up to chase Jack. Immediately, he realized that his shoes were missing. This only made him even more angry and more determined than ever to catch Jack and gobble him up. The giant frantically searched for his missing shoes, then finally gave up and chased after Jack in his bare feet. But what happened to his foot? Jack ran very fast, but the giant ran faster. Jack went down the beanstalk, but the giant went down the beanstalk too. What will happen to Jack? Jack slid down that beanstalk in the wink of an eye, and then he shouted for his mother to bring him an axe. With 3 mighty whacks, Jack chopped the beanstalk down. The plant toppled and crashed down to earth, and with it crashed the big, mean giant. Look, there are his feet in the garden. That was the end of the beanstalk. That was the end of the giant, too, and Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. The end. And that's the end. So, did Jack get everything that he dreamed of? Well, let's remember, what did Jack get from the giant? So he got a bag of gold and honk honk, a golden goose and a magical singing harp. So with those 3 things, do you think that they can sell the gold or let people pay to listen to the harp? Yeah, so now they won't be so poor and they'll be able to buy food. So their bellies won't be empty again. So I just feel bad for the giant. Maybe if he wasn't so big and mean and hadn't stolen everything from Jack's father in the first place. I hope that you enjoyed this story today. A take on a classic, Jack and the Beanstalk. Our next song is a really fun one that we found from Jayberry, a great resource for kids' music for story times. So this is our 2 Little Blackbirds song. So can you get your blackbirds ready? They're going to do some flying with us. All right, so our rhyme goes like this. It's 2 little blackbirds sitting on a hill. One named Jack, the other named Jill. Fly away, Jack. And we'll put it behind her back. Then fly away, Jill. And come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. So let's try that one more time. And then the really fun part of this rhyme is you can start doing other kinds of blackbirds. So let's do Jack and Jill one more time. Two little blackbirds sitting on a hill. One named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. But now it's time for two little blackbirds, and they're going to be flying in the sky. Right, so we have two little blackbirds flying in the sky. One named Low, the other named High. Fly away, Low. Fly away, High. Come back, Low. Come back, High. So you can see this is a really fun one to do some different rhymes and act out with different voices. Let's try another one where we have little blackbirds sitting on a pole, and they'll be fast and slow. So two little blackbirds sitting on a pole, one named fast and one named slow. Fly away fast, fly away slow. Oh, he's very slow. Then come back fast, come back slow. We don't have all day. I'm glad you're back, Slow. All right, let's try another one. So we'll have two little blackbirds sitting on a cloud, one named Quiet and the other named Loud. Are you ready for this one? We have two little blackbirds sitting on a cloud, one named Quiet, the other named Loud. Fly away, Quiet. Fly away, Loud. Come back, Quiet. Come back, Loud. All right, very fun. So next, for our last one, let's do some that are about time. So we'll have two blackbirds sitting on a gate, one named Early and the other named Late. Can you think what our blackbird actions might be for this one? Let's try it out. So we have two little blackbirds sitting on a gate, one named Early and one named Late. Fly away, Early. Fly away, Late. Come back, Early. Come back, Late. Where's Late? What happened to Late? Where is he? Oh, there he is. He came back late. So we hope that you enjoyed some of these. Some other combinations. You can have two blackbirds sitting on ice with mean and nice. You can also have sitting on a gate with wobbly and straight. All right, there are lots of other kinds of blackbirds that you can do. Your imagination is the limit, but it's lots of fun for practicing opposites with kids. So I hope that you enjoyed our two little blackbirds. Next is one of my all-time favorite storytime games, and it is about Jack in the Box. So for this one, you're going to need some sort of scarf. You can also use a towel or a t-shirt or a tissue. Right, they all work really well. What you need is something that you can toss up in the air and then catch as it comes down. So our game goes like this. All right, I'm going to say a rhyme, and while I'm saying the rhyme, I want you to make your scarf or your shirt or your towel as small in your hands as you can. All right, and then when we ask the question, will he come out? Listen for the answer, okay? So we have Jack in the Box sits very still. Will he come out? What do you think? Will he come out? Say, yes, he will. And when you hear that, I want you to toss your scarf or your tissue up in the air and see if you can catch it. Let's try it again together. We have Jack in the box sits very still. Will he come out? Yes, he will. All right, very good. Did you catch it? Yeah, I almost missed mine. Let's try it one more time. And this time, see if you can listen for yes, he will. You might have to wait a little while. Let's listen carefully. So we have Jack in the box sits very still. Will he come out? Will he come out? Will he come out? Yes, he will! All right, I hope that you had fun with our Jack in the Box game. This one is really fun to play together. So I'd encourage you to play lots of times, and to help your child, wait for those special keywords. You can try to say different things like no, he won't, and see if they throw it up. So this is a good one for fun and some careful listening practice. That brings us to the end of today's Music and Mother Goose program. So we hope that you enjoyed reading and singing and playing with some Jacks today. And to say goodbye today, we'll do our classic song that uses some simple American Sign Language. So we'll do our sign for goodbye. And next is our sign for friends. So we'll take our two friend fingers and link them together, just like they're giving a hug. And we'll say goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time, point to your watch, maybe your pretend watch, to say, point to your mouth, goodbye. All right, let's sing it. We have, goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. So goodbye, friends, and thank you for joining us for another Music and Mother Goose program. We hope that we'll see you again next week. Bye.